We don't export container loads of spices from Cambodia, but several tons each year. And I looked also on Woodland's web page, and I saw a few things also, that we do as well. And maybe over there also, there is some opportunities indeed also, to cooperate. Thanks, so far. Brief introduction from my side.
Well, I'll just jump in here. I am recording this just because we need to document that back to the USAID project on what we've done. So if you see that up there, that's why. So anything you say is being recorded. I guess what we need to try and figure out is if Woodland can tell us what products they're interested in, and Andreas can say whether it's something that he can supply and what his advantage on doing that would be.
Oh.
I guess my first thought was, after listening to your introduction, Andreas, is then how does your supply chain work? Can you give me a little bit of information on how that works if you're not doing full container loads over to the U.S.? How do you have warehouse and distribution in the U.S. somewhere?
No, so far, also, the only sales we've done to the US, also, are a few kgs of pepper and cashews, small amounts. Our main customer at the moment, also, sits in Europe, in Germany. We send stuff over also here from Cambodia. We have a regular customer in Thailand also for the pepper we do. As said also, we do buy from other suppliers, producers here in Cambodia if there are larger orders for certified organic black pepper, for example. Also, that we source for others. We've done also, also container loads of certified organic rice from Cambodia, but that's probably not something also, you would be so most interested in. I don't know, but our exports at the moment also, they all go to Europe, and we are looking to diversify. See also, bringing more of these great Cambodian products to the world, not only to my original home country of Germany, but across the Atlantic or the Pacific, depends on which direction, to the US.
Laura, you mentioned that you're the spice buyer. Do you guys? I didn't see on your website compote pepper. Is that something you guys are familiar with? Have demand for?
I'm the spice buyer, Jim.
Oh, okay, sorry, I got that backwards.
Yeah. No, so let me take a look at my peppers. Yeah, I don't think that's one of them that we carry. At the time.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
No, we have Szechuan pepper, but we don't have that one. Of course, I'd love to see samples. So, like you said, the lemongrass, the moringa, the pepper. Andre, what other, if you could send me a list of what you potentially could offer spices and herbs wise. Laura does all of the nuts and fruits and that kind of thing. So to give you a little direction on who handles what again.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would certainly be happy. Yeah.
We sent some samples back a few weeks ago. Did you have a chance to look at those? I think I'm not sure whose attention they were made to. I'd have to look at the documentation, but I can definitely, we have samples here in my office. I can definitely get some samples of the pepper for sure, and the moringa. I don't think we have samples of that here, but.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. If you could check out who received the samples. I don't recall getting samples. So, but
Okay.
A lot of us are working remotely, but we still go in at least once or twice a week to check out samples and whatnot. So, I was just in last Wednesday and didn't see anything on my desk. So if it's going to Aram, I did notice some things were going to Aram directly.
Right.
Jim. Yeah, so if you can make them to my attention, that'd be great. And then anything on the cashews, did you send cashew samples?
Yeah, there were cashew samples and there were pepper samples and, some dried mango samples, a few other products as well.
Laura,
And they
did you get
probably
any of those?
No, I didn't receive
Yeah.
anything on my desk, and I was just in on Wednesday.
Right,
Yeah,
you
they
and I
probably
were.
did go to a ROM. You know, my dialogue was originally with him, and it's obviously much better to talk to the people that are actually doing the buying.
Yep, yep. Not saying he
Seems
can't put them on our desk or whatnot,
Right,
but
right.
you never know. You know, I mean, he's a busy guy. So, for sure, yeah, if you could resend samples out to us, that'd be great. And Andres, if there's any other products that you think that spices and herbs wise that you can recommend for me, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely am always looking.
Well, one
No,
thing on
certainly. Also, what's amongst the samples? Also, we've sent through USA ID. Also, is definitely the compound pepper, black, red, and white. I think also the fermented or the salted compound pepper. Also, that we do here, for which we won. Also, actually prizes for best organic food in Germany. Also the long pepper, which is not something that is such a common thing with many spice traders. We do have very, very nice organic and conventional long pepper here in Cambodia. The samples I send us, are all certified organic products. But in case you're interested also in conventional products, if there's a demand, also we source also those ones and send. There's something else. That's
Andreas, what's the special characteristics of the compote pepper? I know you were talking about them last week. Could you explain what it can help with cuisine and different things?
Yeah, it's this. It has this very, very intense aroma, this very intensive smell and taste. In particular, me also the black one and the red one. Where the red one is a little bit more on. It's also a fruity note with it. So it's very different from. The less intense black peppers we have. Also, it's very different. Also, from the Sichuan peppers, which have this citrus flavor amongst them. As I said, also, get one of the sample, open the pack, also, and take a deep breath. That's what I recommended also last time.
That's what I would do.
Really,
so, the samples that we probably got, Jim probably went to Aram and then went to our chef, so they kind of bypassed us. Yeah. It would be great if you could resend those samples off and make it attention to myself. Then for sure I'll get them in hand and take a nice whiff of them both. So there's red pepper and then there's black pepper as well as compo.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like
Uh-oh. There's red, black, and white.
And white. Okay. I thought I missed one. Yeah, for sure.
And then there's long pepper, which I'm not familiar with what that is.
We do buy long pepper now. I think we go through distribution on that. And our volumes are really small on long pepper.
Okay. Well, I'll send some samples back to you because I don't need them anyway.
Okay. No, that'd be great. And like I said, yeah, like even Andre said, sometimes a couple times of getting samples. I appreciate it. I apologize that we didn't get to see it the first hand round though. And then definitely the nuts. You could send them my attention. I'll make sure they get to Laura. If you want to do it all in one package.
Yeah, I will. I'll do them all in one. It'll be Wednesday. I get back to the office Wednesday, so we'll get them out then.
Okay.
I'll send you a tracking number.
Yeah, Laura and I sit in the same area in our plant, so I would just put them on her desk. She'd get them right away then. So how we work. And then Aram's way on the other side of our facility. So, but yeah, that's good.
Well,
and
I'll get those off. And then Andre, if you can send a list of the different spices that you can get. The nuts. Did we want to talk about the cashews at all?
Our biggest mover for the cashews is the whole cashew, the whole raw cashews, and we use about 21,000 pounds annually on those. We typically right now are buying them in 4,000 pound increments. So if you're, I guess I'm a little hesitant if they're, as to how we would get the product over to us in the States if you're not doing containers.
Particularly with these freight rates the way they are these days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. For if you're talking about, raw cashew kernels. I mean, that is something else. I mean, we start exporting this year, and for which we are actually looking for a buyer, and that would be also. I mean, this year as a first, as I mean, we could ship potentially 1 or 2 containers of whole kernels, 20-foot containers.
Well, Aram
certified organic qualities.
Aram mentioned last time I met with them that you guys have hired a broker that brokers product. I don't know if if he were to bring a container in, put it into a third-party warehouse, if that broker would be able to sell product out from that, or if that broker's exclusively to what physically goes through your, modification or warehouse.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was Kamaya that had the broker. Andreas, do you have?
No, it's Woodland.
Oh, okay. Sorry, misunderstood.
I guess I'm not familiar with that, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, when I was there back in a couple months ago, November maybe. Yeah, November. Aram and I met briefly with Dave that they had hired a broker to broker product. So I don't know if that broker was an in-house broker or an outside broker that would be able to, bring in a 40-foot container or 20-foot container, I guess. Bring in a 20-foot container, warehouse it here. You guys could draw out of that, and the balance could be sold by the broker.
Yeah, Laura, are you doing any of that now? We may have to talk to Aram a little bit more about that. I'm not sure if maybe he was thinking GWC warehousing in New Jersey. They do that, a lot of that for clients as well. But I'm not certain where Aram was going with that.
Yeah, okay.
How much, we could do a 20-foot. How much goes in a 20-foot container, Andres? Have you done any 20-foot containers yet into the U.S., just Europe?
That's about 14 to 15 metric tons. 14 to 15 metric tons cashew kernels.
So it's 30,000 pounds.
Yeah.
In a 20-foot container.
Yeah.
What is the typical shelf life on the product?
Yeah.
Andreas, the shelf life of the product
on the right. I mean the raw cashew kernels. I mean they come in packs of 10 kg vacuum packed. That is, I mean, there's a shelf life. We haven't tested us. I mean on ourselves, but from the processors. I mean the guys. I mean who ship to Japan. I mean. Of these products shelf life is between 18 and 24 months.
Yeah, with vacuum packed, it should be that.
Okay, and do they need to be in a temperature controlled environment at all, or?
No, I mean you don't want to put them in a very hot environment, but they are shipped in normal dry containers. And they're also stored here. I mean, usually only in well-ventilated warehouses where temperatures never go beyond 27, 28 degrees Celsius, which would be somewhere in the higher 70s or something.
Yeah, no, it'd be 80, much higher than that. 21 is 72, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and your where's
high 70s.
Yeah, high 70s, 80s.
Hey, Laura.
Yeah.
My thought is you could probably potentially. What are you selling annually? You said about 20,000 pounds annually.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a container and then fill it with some black pepper, who knows, right? And make one full
Right.
container, bring it in. We do have warehousing here in the States, our own. So it just really depends, I guess, on product pricing and everything else that goes, along with that. So we'd love to see pricing. I'm sure that's, always a key. I don't know about any other certifications and documents you need on the nuts, Laura, that Andres has to provide. Is he certified in every aspect that we need? I don't know if I'm not in the nut world. I'm in the spices. So are they kosher? I don't know. You just want to make sure that, they have everything that you normally would ask from a nut supplier.
Right. And actually the cashews that we get are not organic. Ours are conventional right now. So this would be something for me to look into a little bit further. Do you have conventional cashews?
We could also source or offer you conventional cashews, sure. I mean, the processing facility that we run our raw cashew nuts, our own ones from our own farm, plus our partner farms, they do both. They do conventional processing for a few months a year, and for a few months a year also. I mean, they do certified organic processing for us. I mean, the amounts we could supply also, I mean, on conventional are actually much higher than on the certified organic, because certified organic, it's simply, I mean, this last year and this year the supply of raw material was still limited. We are our company, Kamaya Agri-Trade, together with some NGOs and development partner, we've started this certified organic cashew business in Cambodia, and we are promoting this amongst smallholders here in the country in particular. So it's growing steadily year by year. I mean, but if you were, I mean, just for example, I mean, if you wanted to buy everything that is there in the country in Cambodia in terms of certified organic, that would be around at the moment around 200 metric tons, or I mean the entire production. I mean, what's that? 30 containers or something around that. So it's not a lot yet, but it's growing every day. I mean, every day, every year. I mean, Cambodia is actually the country in the world, I mean, with the highest growth rate in cashew production. So majority goes to Vietnam, I mean, for processing, but we are starting here in Cambodia as well.
A couple of things off that as segue. First of all, we got about 10 minutes before we have to jump for another call. Apologize for that. But Ron had mentioned that you guys had an interest in some cashew milk powder. And I don't know that anybody in Cambodia is producing that, but that's one of the things where the USAID projects can step in and say, there is a demand here. What type of equipment do they need? What type of technology and support do they need? And does the demand support the production? And then if that's the case, then the USAID projects can then, in a lot of cases, they grant the equipment, they provide the technical assistance and get things going. This particular project is coming to an end in the next several months, but there's another project on the books or in the hopper as far as being issued. We're on that proposal, and with a little bit of luck, we'll win. And then we can take some of those longer term projects. That's one of the things that we can do is if Woodland comes to us and says we have a demand for X, Y, and Z, we can look at the different projects we have around the world and see where it fits. So that's something to keep in mind.
Okay. Just also real quick, when you're sending in the samples, will you be able to include copies of the specs for each item?
I can get those from the producers, from Andreas. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
And that's one thing too. We can, if you come back and say these are our specs, you've got, your size is not appropriate for what we need, we can then take a look at it and see if we can do it. If, they're broken or whatever your specs are. That's one of the challenges we have in our role, is that we want to make sure that we're meeting the specs that the buyer wants, as opposed to that the producer wants to sell. So it really is coming from you guys saying, here, if you can produce this, this is what we need. And then we work with the producers to make sure they can comply with those specifications, and whether it's training their equipment or just paying attention to the details, whatever it is, that's something we can do. But it's got to be the USA, we like to say it's demand driven. So, USA has spent, unfortunately, billions of our taxpayer dollars teaching people to produce the wrong product. Now they finally realize that let's get the buyers involved earlier, so we're producing the product that meets the market demand.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Great. Well, I appreciate everybody's flexibility on the time. Thank you, Andreas. Don't get up at 4 o'clock this morning. Go ahead and sleep until 4:30.
Oh. Okay.
And
I'll listen to that. Okay. Good.
And I'll get the samples out on Wednesday, Andreas, if you can send me the
yeah.
specification sheets.
Good. Yeah, no, I'll work on that tomorrow. Also, I mean, some of it I'll have put together already. Others need to put down. So, but sure, will do. No problem. And then right, have a look at our products and get back to me on what you like and what you would expect to be changed, or any as Jim said, also, I mean, the specifications, also, I mean, if it doesn't fully match, I mean, we are happy to work on it. Let's see.
Sounds good, Andreas. Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you for taking the time tonight, Andreas.
Great, thanks. And Laura and Trace, I'll talk to you in a minute.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andreas. Nice meeting you. Bye now.
Okay. Great, thanks. Bye.
Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.